Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today I'm going to be ranking the seasons from 80s Doctor Who. So, season 18 through season 26, I'm going to be ranking them from my least favorite to my favorite. I don't think any of them are just flat out bad. I mean, I have one that I'll think is not really that good, but all of them are enjoyable. I like classic Who. The 80s might be my least favorite decade of classic Doctor Who, but it's still a great decade of Doctor Who. It's like asking me what my least favorite kind of cheesecake is. I pretty much enjoy all kinds of cheesecake. My favorite dessert. So I'm going to rank them from least to worst. That's 9 seasons we're going to be looking at, most of which, of course, we have gotten in the collection range thus far, just waiting on season 21. With its mandatory updated effects for Resurrection of the Daleks, or else we will riot. Yes. And by riot, I mean we will write a very angry letter telling them how angry we are. So, starting in 9th place at the bottom, my least favorite season of 80s Doctor Who and my least favorite season of classic Doctor Who is season 23, The Trial of a Time Lord. I just don't get into this one as much. I like 3 of the 4 stories. I like A Mysterious Planet, my favorite of the season. Robert Holmes, great story. Not his best, but still good. Great incidental music, good acting, very enjoyable, nice little twist. I like it. Mind Warp's the one I don't really care for, other than having Brian Blessed, which is great. And I do enjoy seeing Syl back, but just, I don't really care for it. I don't like the ending of it. I'm glad they retconned that, although Nicola Bryant's great in that scene. Just don't really get into this one. Terror of the Vervoids, very enjoyable. I like it. The costume design is a bit unfortunate. You know what I mean. You can't unsee it. But the story is good. I enjoy it. And then Ultimate Foe is good. I like it. It's not like great or mind-blowing, but I think, especially part 2, the fact part 2 turned out as good as it did, considering Pip and Jane Baker pretty much had to write the story with their hands tied behind their back and blindfolded, basically. That really was a last-minute scramble for them to have to come up with that because, sadly, of course, Bob Holmes passed away and all of the controversy with Eric Sayward and all of that. I think it turned out pretty well considering. But still, I don't like the idea of the trial. I understand it's reflecting what's happening with Doctor Who in the real world, but it just seemed like a bad choice. It interrupts the flow of the story too much. And it's not to say I don't like the trial scenes. I enjoy some of the trial scenes. I like Michael Chaston as the Valeyard. He's fantastic. And I love the back and forth between him and the Doctor. But when you get invested in the story and it suddenly cuts back to the trial, it's like someone turning on the cold water in your hot shower. It's very jarring, like pulling the rug out from under you. And it just gets tedious as you have to adjust back to the story. So I don't like that aspect of it. It's just my least favorite. It's my least favorite season of classic Doctor Who. Next on the list, in 8th place, is season 21. A season with high highs and low lows. Kind of the classic version of Series 2 from the modern series, David Tennant's first series, which has high highs and low lows. Season 21 is kind of like that. You have really good stories, like, of course, The Caves of Androzani, which is a masterpiece. You have Frontios, which is really, really good. And then you also have, I'm forgetting one. There's another really good story that season my mind is blanking on, but I know there's at least one more I enjoy that season, I think. But then you also have some bad ones like Warriors of the Deep, which is bad. The Awakening, which really isn't that good. Episode 1's not bad, but episode 2's not that good. I don't really care for it overall. Twin Dilemma, which isn't the complete dumpster fire some people think it is, but it's still not good. I mean, there are aspects of it I like, but I still wouldn't call it good. It's still a bad story. Terrible introduction story for the 6th Doctor. And then you have Planet of Fire, which is just so middle of the road. The epitome of middle of the road. There's, again, just high highs, low lows. There's another good one in there I'm forgetting. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But it averages out just to be, I like the stories I like, but I really dislike the stories I dislike. Other than Twin Dilemma, which I can still find enjoyable while admitting it's not very good. But I don't like Warriors of the Deep. I don't like The Awakening. And Planet of Fire is just a once every blue moon rewatch with a special edition that's worse. Special edition is not good at all. It's really Frontios and Caves of Androzani. Resurrection of the Daleks. That's the one I'm thinking of. Resurrection of the Daleks. Which is good, but needs its updated effects. So you have 3 good ones, 3 bad ones, and 1 that is the epitome of middle of the road. So it kind of averages out to average, I guess. In a classic Doctor Who, typically a season doesn't just settle for average. Or middle of the road, or mid, I guess I should say, if I want to be a little more accurate. Most of them are above that. So the highs are good, but the lows are not so good. Next on the list for me is Season 19, and I like Season 19. It's just from this point up, all of these seasons are good. Because classic Doctor Who just has good seasons. All of them are good. I like Season 19. I think the only bad story in it for me is probably Kinda. And the second half of Kinda is considerably better than the first half of Kinda. But I'm not really a big fan of Kinda. I prefer Snake Dance. I love Castrovalva. I love Four to Doomsday. The musical numbers go on a little too long, but I love Four to Doomsday. I really enjoy Earthshock. I even like Time Flight. I think there are some bad things about Time Flight. Some of the effects look rough. The whole Master Disguise doesn't need to be there. It's just there so the Master can be like, it's actually me, Doctor. As we know, he loves that Master reveal at the end of a part. Only reason it's there. But the actual story I like, plus some of the guest cast I like the pilots. I really like the pilots a lot, especially one of the pilots in particular. I like him a lot. So I definitely like Time Flight better than I think most. I'll take Time Flight over Kinda any day. And again, Earthshock is also really good. The Visitation is really enjoyable. Even Black Orchid, which I'm not a big fan of, is okay for the occasional watch. And the location work for it looks really good. The film elements surviving for this season, which is probably why this season was the second season released in the range. The film elements, the location work looks really good in HD. And yeah, it just kind of falls there. It's still a good season. Well, again, I'd say the only bad story probably being Kinda for me. Next on the list is Season 24. I do prefer Season 24 just a little more than 21. Really, the only bad story in 24 being Delta and the Bannerman. That being said, I wouldn't say I hate Delta and the Bannerman, because there's still some redeeming things about it. I like the guy playing like Bertram or whatever his name is, the guy who runs the place. I like him. Ken Dodd is great as his character. I don't really know Ken Dodd that much, I'll be honest. I'm American. But I like his character. And then I like, Riley, is that her name? I like Riley. Some of the music's okay. Some of the music's terrible. Some of the music's okay. Some of the plot is all right. The guy playing the villain is really good. It's just some of the other stuff I don't really care for. The one guy who's turning himself alien because he likes this girl. Well, that was a bit abrupt, wasn't it? The Green Army men look a little weird. Some of the music I don't care for. It definitely has its parts where I'm like, oh, also the Beekeeper. Gotta love the Beekeeper. Like you gotta give it points for the in my headcanon, the Beekeeper is like a retired Time Lord. He's like Professor Chronosis, retired Time Lord. Makes perfect sense. Bring him back with a different face. I love that guy. The actor playing him, it's perfect. I will always give the story points for the Beekeeper, even if I'm not a big fan of Delta and the Bannerman. But the other 3 stories I like Dragonfire. I think Dragonfire is good. I think it's a great introduction to Ace. I like the set design. And it's great to see Glitz again. I love Glitz. Tony's so good as Glitz. Despite Glitz doing actual terrible things, he plays this part of the lovable rogue, this kind of Han Solo type, so well that you're like, I forgive you, Glitz. Mel, you can go with it. I like Time on the Ronnie. It's silly fun. It is. And again, knowing all the behind-the-scenes stuff with Time on the Ronnie, we're lucky it turned out as good as it did. And the fact Kato Mara, it just looks like she's having a blast. Always gives it points for me. I like Sylvester McCoy in this story a lot. Some of the special effects look really good in this story. Some of them don't, but some of them do. And the Tetraps look really good. That's a really good costume design. There's a lot of positives going on with Time on the Ronnie. And some of the incidental music's good too. And then, of course, Paradise Towers is the shining beacon of the season for me. I love Paradise Towers. It feels more like a Season 25 story to me. It really does feel like it would be right at home in Season 25. But I love Paradise Towers. That is very good Doctor Who. There's a couple things that I wish that they had in concept for the story that had made it into the final version of the story, like all of the males being left over being old or out of shape because all the healthy ones went off to fight. I wish they had done that. And then the rule book being like this thick, I wish they had done that. So little things they missed that they originally wanted to do, but I still think it's executed really well. Even Richard Briers or whatever his name is, I like him in the story. Even after he's taken over, I like him in the story. So I enjoyed Paradise Towers a lot. I think season 24 is underrated. People have this habit of thinking season 24 is just Time in the Ronnie, and that's just not true. It's just not at all. Next on the list is season 18, Tom Baker's final season. I like season 18. There is no other season in Doctor Who quite like season 18. Season 18 is very unique. It's also a huge tonal shift from season 17. If you watch season 17 and then immediately watch season 18, you will give yourself whiplash practically. Because I don't know if there's 2 consecutive seasons of Doctor Who that have such a tonal shift to them. Very, very different people working behind the scenes. Very different approaches being taken with the show. Huge change for season 18 with costumes changes and also with the intro changing and all of that. And the stories are very different. I like most of the stories. I'm not a fan of the Leisure Hive. To be fair, it's still watchable. It's a watchable story. I still go back and watch it sometimes. Not a big fan of it though. I would categorize it as a bad story, but watchably bad. Not like Power of Kroll where it's borderline unwatchable. I like Meg Loss. I find Meg Loss underrated. I wish it was an episode longer because the ending is a bit abrupt, and it's one of the only times I can think of in Doctor Who where you have the lead actor playing dual roles when it works, because it's actually a plot point of the story why Tom Baker is playing 2 different characters. I never like when it's a coincidence when that happens. Say The Massacre. Well, I enjoy The Massacre. Enemy of the World, which I enjoy well enough, but neither of those are like high on my ranking list, because I don't like that it's just a coincidence. Even though William Hartnell, from what I hear in the audio, is doing a fine job in both, and Patrick Troughton is absolutely nailing it, playing really 4 characters if you think about it in Enemy of the World, because he's playing the Doctor Salamander, the Doctor impersonating Salamander, and Salamander impersonating the Doctor, which is slightly different. And he's nailing it every time. So while I enjoy that performance, I don't like the fact that it's just a pure coincidence in the story. Whereas here, it actually is a plot point that Meg Loss is purposely disguising himself as the Doctor. And that works for me. That's why Meg Loss, of those 3 stories, and even in Black Orchid, I don't like when Nyssa has someone running around that looks just like her by pure coincidence. I don't care for that. That's why out of The Massacre, Enemy of the World, Black Orchid, and Meg Loss, my favorite story of the 4, easily, by a country mile, is Meg Loss. It's just the best story of the 4, in my opinion. Easily my favorite. And then, of course, we get Full Circle, which is enjoyable. It's one of those, my opinion shifts depending on my most recent rewatch, but I never dislike it. It's always some level of okay to good. State of Decay, which is phenomenal. Top 25 Doctor Who story of all time for me, probably. I love State of Decay, my favorite of the season. Just Terrence Dix absolutely nailing it. Love this story. Warrior's Gate, which I really enjoy for multiple reasons. 1, I think it's a good story. 2, I love the execution of the story. Warrior's Gate fascinates me because Warrior's Gate is a perfect example of a story in science fiction that is very reflective of the time it's made. Warrior's Gate would look very different on screen depending on what decade it's made in. Warrior's Gate made in the 60s would look a certain way. In the 70s would look a certain way. The 80s a certain way. The 2010s a certain way. The 2020s a certain way. That because of what's happening on screen, how it would be executed on screen would vary drastically just depending on when it was made. And I like this 1980 version of it. It's very, very good. I love those effects. It's a fascinating episode, and I think the effects hold up pretty well. Keeper of Traken. I love Keeper of Traken. Fantastic story. Probably the last truly great 4th Doctor story. Very, very good story. Great reintroduction to the Master. Love Anthony Ainley as Tremas. Makes it all the more sadder when he gets taken over by the Master. And then Logopolis is good. It's okay to good. It's not great. It's not the best regeneration story ever. It's not the worst regeneration story ever. I guess it's nice that Tom goes out saving most of the universe. And it is a good regeneration scene with some nice incidental music. But the story is probably B tier at most for me. So above average, but not like A tier or S tier for me. Is how I would say season 18. Boy, I went more in depth than I meant to on season 18. But I like season 18. It does have that funeralistic approach to it, that sense of things coming to an end. And I don't think that by the end of it, it's a surprise when Tom regenerates, because it has that whole feel to it. Tom himself is very different. I always get this sense of time passing between 17 and 18. It always feels like a long time has passed between the end of Shada and the beginning of the Leisure Hive, because the Fourth Doctor is such a different person in that story. Still great. Tom Baker, I don't agree that some people say he kind of sleeps his way through the season. I don't see that at all. I think Tom is great this season. But he is portraying the Doctor in a much more somber manner, which I find quite interesting. Next on the list is season 20. I love season 20. It's my favorite Davison season. I don't think it has any bad stories in it. I like all of the stories this season. I really like Arc of Infinity, especially with the updated effect. Also, almost every story this season has optional updated effects. The only one that doesn't is King's Demons. I will be counting 5 Doctors as part of season 20 as well. It's just easier to do that. I like Arc of Infinity, especially with the updated effects and the Amsterdam location work. And it has Michael Goff, and I love me some Michael Goff, I do. One of the reasons I love Celestial Toymaker as well. I like Snake Dance a lot. Huge improvement over Kenda for me. Very, very good story. I like Maldron Undead. I don't love Maldron Undead, but I enjoy it well enough. C to B tier story for me. Average, slightly above average. Great to see the Brigadier again. Like some of the set designs as well. Don't like the character designs for Maldron and his group, the way they look. Don't care for that at all. Especially the... Nope. Terminus. I've actually really grown to enjoy Terminus. Solid B tier story for me. Especially, again, with the updated effects. I actually like that it caused the Big Bang and is about to cause a second Big Bang. That's fascinating to me. And then Enlightenment's fantastic. It's probably my favorite of the season proper. I really like Enlightenment. All 3 versions of it. I love the original effects. I love the 2009 updated effects special edition. That's actually my favorite version of it. I don't really care for the widescreen, but I do like the cut-down movie-length edit of it. It just flows better for me. And then I like the effects on the box set, the 2023 effects. Those look good as well. So I enjoy all 3 versions of Enlightenment. I like the addition of Turlo. I like that Tegan gets stuff to do in this story. And of course, I love Valentine as the Black Guardian. He's just amazing in that role. Such a voice, such a voice. And then I love King's Demons, my favorite Davison 2-parter, one of my favorite Davison stories. I've talked about King's Demons a lot on here. I'm a huge fan of King's Demons. Very underrated story. Probably the most underrated 5th Doctor story. And then the 5 Doctors is fantastic. One of my favorite multi-Doctor stories. It's really hard to pick between it and 3 Doctors. It might not have the greatest plot in the world. It's pretty much the classic equivalent of Power of the Doctor. Not the most of a plot, not the most thought out plot in the world, but it's just fun to get everybody together, to get the gang all here, just to see everybody's nice. It's just a celebration of Doctor Who, and it executes that very well, I think, on screen. Plus the film elements survive for the location work. That's really nice. Next on the list, it's really hard with number 2 and 3 because they're practically a tie. I go back and forth with these. I knew number 1 was going to be number 1, but 2 and 3, I constantly go back and forth. And that's of course, season 25 and season 26 at 2 and 3. And it's really hard for me to order them because I love both. They're both phenomenal seasons. Classic Who went out with a bang with those 2 seasons. I put 26 in 3rd place, which a year ago I probably would have flipped them. But lately I've just enjoyed 25. If you were to sit me down and make me rewatch one season, like the whole season, I'd rather rewatch 25 over 26. 26 is good, though. I mean, Chessmaster McCoy in full Chessmaster mode with his darker outfit. Battlefield is a good story. Great to see the Brigadier back. The actual story's not 100%, but it's enjoyable. Gene Marsh is good. Some rough incidental music, to be fair. But good. I love Ghostlight. One of the most atmospheric Doctor Who stories of all time. I'm completely on board with ghosts. Like Curse of Fenric is essential Doctor Who. That's another thing. Season 25 and 26 both have at least one essential episode, like one quintessential 7th Doctor story, with season 26, and of course is Curse of Fenric. Every Doctor Who fan needs to see Curse of Fenric. It is essential Doctor Who. It just is. And then Survival, which is easing into good without being great. I think it gets a little too much credit simply because it's the last Doctor Who story of classic Doctor Who. And it isn't bad. It's definitely Anthony Ainley, I think, his best performance as the Master. He's great in it. But it just overall, I think it's edging into good without being great. B tier, maybe. High C tier, low B tier. Season 25 also fluctuates a little bit. You have Remembrance of the Daleks, which is the season 25 essential story. One of the quintessential McCoy stories that you should watch if you're a 7th Doctor fan, and an essential episode of Doctor Who. Every Doctor Who fan needs to see Remembrance of the Daleks. I especially love the updated effects on the box set. And I love that the season 25 box set got updated effects for all 4 stories. That's awesome. I love the updated effects for Remembrance of the Daleks. It gave it that last little bit it needed to really push it up there for me. Happiness Patrol, my favorite story of the season. I love Happiness Patrol. Political satire done right. This is arguably the most political story Doctor Who has ever done. It does it well. And I love both versions. I love the original version and the special edition because they have a different feel to them. They change the look of the planet a lot, but they're both very, very enjoyable watches. Silver Nemesis is a lesser version of Remembrance, and it is a little overstuffed, but it's still enjoyable. It's still fun. Again, like the new updated special edition of it, even enjoyed the omnibus of it. I think there's like 5 versions of Silver Nemesis on the box set. Silver Nemesis is enjoyable. It's enjoyable. It's not a bad story. Solid B tier. Solid B tier for me. Good B tier. High B tier maybe even. And then you have Greatest Show in the Galaxy, which is my least favorite of the season, but it does do that wonderful thing of getting progressively better. So by the time I get to episode 4, I'm having a good time. Also, the head clown, the chief clown, that guy is great. I think his name is Ian. Phenomenally. He is phenomenally good in this. What he does with his few lines of dialogue, but especially with his body language and his facial expressions, kudos to that. He is phenomenal. T.P. McKenna is great in it as well. Even if I'm not a big fan of his character, his performance is good. And the fact that this episode got made at all, considering the behind-the-scenes stuff with the strikes going on and they had to make it outside with the tents, kudos to the people working on this story. And again, I don't really care for the first episode that much. As a matter of fact, it irritates me. There are really dumb decisions made in that episode. But the fact it gets progressively better, that I really enjoy episode 4. And it ends really well. Plus, I love the Werewolf Girl. The actress playing Werewolf Girl, she's great. I love Werewolf Girl in this story. Don't really care for the nerd guy who's kind of supposed to be the Doctor Who fan, the meta-ness of it. That's a little annoying, but it's hit and miss with Greatest Show in the Galaxy. But I have to put season 25 slightly ahead of season 26 currently. Because if I had to rewatch one season right now, I'd rather rewatch 25 over 26. I can't say that. And then number 1 on my list is season 22. I just love season 22. I don't always enjoy the dynamic between Six and Perry. I feel like it's better the brief time we get with them in season 23. They're a little too argumentative. But I'm not a huge fan even of Perry as a companion, to be honest. Nothing against Nicola. She's great. I'm just not a big Perry fan. But I like Six in this a lot. And I love the stories. The stories are so good. I love Attack of the Cybermen. I prefer Attack of the Cybermen even over Earthshock. I like Vengeance on Varos. I think Syl is such a cool character. The guy who plays Syl is fantastic. He's so fantastic. And I like Syl as the kind of corporate 80s businessman that's just greedy, 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 greedy. Which, to be fair, is still true today. I like Mark of the Rani a lot. Kato Mara's great. And I'm the only Colin historical. My favorite TV Colin story is fantastic. I like Time Lash. I think Time Lash is very enjoyable. Paul Darrow is such a treat to watch. The Borad makeup looks fantastic. I think anyone would agree with me on that. And then the updated special effects on the box set do give it a nice little push. It's still not stellar. It's not essential Doctor Who. It's not even A-tier Doctor Who. Solid C-tier Doctor Who. And the bit when the Doctor's in the time lash still goes on way too long, but it's still enjoyable. It's fun to watch. And then, of course, Revelation of the Daleks is great. And I like it with its updated effects as well. I like Revelation of it. It's dark. It's very, very dark. Goes through dark places. But it's still very good. Love the Glass Dalek, too. But I enjoy it. And it has a good guest cast. I love the assassin and his assistant. That's cool. I like when the one girl's like, go to, die or whatever, and he's like, you first, and he just... I love that. I enjoy that. And then there's one other story I'm forgetting about in there. The Two Doctors. I like the Two Doctors. It's a little long, yes, but we got Jacqueline Pearson, Doctor Who, which is great. And it's great to see Troughton again. It's great to see Frasier again. And I actually like the TARDIS team of Six, Frasier, and Perry. I like them as a trio. I would like to see more in that. I enjoy Two Doctors. And I like the fact that you get a few minutes of just the second Doctor with Jamie at the beginning. It's like maybe 15 minutes, if that. I don't actually remember how long it is. But you get kind of a mini second Doctor episode with them at the beginning, and I enjoy that. So that's how I would rank 80s Doctor Who from my least favorite to my favorite. I don't want to say worst to best, because I don't think any of them are necessarily bad. Trial comes close, but I still enjoyed 3 of the 4 stories. But that's how I would rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. Still a great decade of Doctor Who. I want to know what you think of my list and how you would rank them. Comment down below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. There's a link to that down in the description. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Finn Perkins, Unknown289, and Androzani Major. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. It's very much appreciated. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. I love fan mail. I do. I also have links to the Amazon wishlist and the Amazon UK wishlist down there as well. Check those out. Most importantly, thank you for watching.